is change out the heater core, and we'll put that right there for now. Let's put it right here. And to get the heater core out, we got 4 bolts. There's 2 up here, 1 here, and then there's 1 way down there. And that one's kind of a bear to get to, but I'm going to show you how I do it. What I got here, I got a long extension, I got a double joint swivel head, and then I got a deep socket 7/16 12 point. And then what I do is I take tape, and I'm going to tape this to the extension just like this. And then I'm going to come over here, and then I'm going to tape the socket to the swivel. And then by the time I do that, what happens is it'll tighten up that swivel joint as well, and then it'll help us keep everything together where we don't lose it. And then it still swivels around like we want, but we won't have to worry about getting sockets stuck down in there and all this other stuff. So then I go ahead and take this ratchet, which is a little palm ratchet, and then we can go ahead and dismantle that and take that very hard to reach bolt off a lot easier, and hopefully it'll all fit in there, which I don't. Hold on a minute, I'm actually wrong. I'm not going to use the long socket. I got to use a shallow socket. So let me get a shallow socket and put it on here. I was thinking I use that. Now another thing I can do, if that doesn't actually work properly. Okay, what we're doing is we got to get this heater core out. And to start off with that, of course, yeah, the heater core was leaking. We already found that out, so I got to replace it. So the way that I'm going to start out is there's a bolt down here, and it's very, very tight squeeze down inside there. Now if this doesn't work, then we're going to be screwed, and I'll have to use a wrench from the side action. But what I did, I got a long extension, I got a double joint swivel in here, and then I got a 7/16 socket, and I'm going to go ahead and put another extension on that. Actually, to be honest with you, I'm going to go ahead and swap this out, and I'm going to put this short extension on here like this. There we go. And then I'll put this one on here. So we got a long swivel head extension, wobble head. We got a short wobble head extension, double joint, and a 7/16. And we got to get this bolt off down here, and it's not the easiest bolt to get. I don't know if we'll get it or not, but we're going to try our best. And that's not going to work. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to replace our heater core. It's leaking into the cab of the truck, and there's a bolt right here that's very hard to get to, and it's probably the hardest one of all of them. Matter of fact, it's not probably, it is the hardest one of all of them, and to get it out is quite a job. I don't know why they make everything so hard. But what I got here, let me go ahead and explain it. I actually got a double jointed swivel extension. I got a 7/16 socket. I got an extension on that. And then I got my screwdriver handle to get it out. So we've got to get this thing in here. and hopefully it will come out. We got to get this bolt out, but the hard thing is to put it back on. That's going to be the hard thing to do. I can't even get my hand in there to actually get that bolt out. Actually, that isn't a bolt. That's not a bolt right there. Okay, we might get lucky that these are the only three that we need to take out. On air conditioning units, if you have air conditioning on it, there's a bolt down there that you got to take off, but I just went ahead and hit that with a screwdriver, and it's a rubber grommet is what that is. So what we're going to do now is we don't need all this. Okay, we're going to go ahead and continue to remove the bolts necessary, and hopefully that's all we got to do is remove that section. So let me get the tools for that, and then we can move forward. Okay, what we're doing here is we're going to go ahead and take the heater core out. We found out that it's leaking. I've already drained the antifreeze, and I've already disconnected our hoses. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these 4 bolts, whether they're 4 bolts, speed nuts, you might say. These are called speed nuts. Right there, we're going to go ahead and remove those. Now, one good thing about this heater core is we don't have air conditioning, so that is a plus. Now on an air conditioning unit, if you had air conditioners, there's actually a bolt down there that's very hard to get to, and this one has a rubber grommet down there, so we're going to find out what that is when we get inside the car. Alright, here we are inside the car. We just got done taking the 3 bolts off on the outside. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and concentrate on the inside here. And there's 2 bolts that I found inside here. So we still have one on the outside to get, and I'm pretty sure it's that real hard to reach one where the fender well is. We'll have to get that out, but let's go ahead and take this one off. Maybe we'll get lucky and there's not one there, but there is one right here, and this is a bullshit job. Okay, this is one of the most suckiest jobs that you'll ever do. You're working down on your knees unless you got a lift and you can stand up, and it's just a real pain in the ass. So yeah, it's one of those jobs, one of those particular jobs. I see a brace right here that I got to remove. I'll go ahead and get that out of here, out of the way. That's a different size socket, so we'll go ahead and get that off. And then we got to, hopefully it'll come out then, so let's go ahead and see. Got to get this brace off right here. And it looks like it goes to the outside of the firewall. There's that right there, and here's this right here we don't need. So I need to take that defrost, I need to take the defrost vent off of the unit even though that's not what's holding it in. There's still something holding it in. And I see, okay, I took that stud off. So let me go up in there and see about this stud here. I think there's one more stud on it that I got to take off. And then we'll proceed to get this out of here. This is bullshit. There's a brace that goes to the firewall, and it goes through the firewall over to the dash, the lower dash, and it's like a brace. And without that brace out, you ain't getting the core support out. And to get to that bolt that the brace is behind the engine block. You want to come over here a little closer and show everybody, please, camera person. So it's rusted for one, and I got a ratchet wrench on it, which I'm using my thumb to work, and I can barely fit my hand in here to get this out. And I don't know if I'm going to be putting this back in or not. We're going to have to think about it. If Minnie can get her hand in there to start the bolt, we'll put it back on. But you're going to see what we're talking about here in a minute. Okay, it's almost out. Hang on. So now we can take the brace off here, like that. And more than likely, I'll put it back in there. But to get this out of here, you got to take this out. Look at that. Do you see what I'm looking at? What a fucking joke, huh? You believe this shit?
It's crazy.
Just to get the fucking heater out so you can fix it.
Wow.
I went ahead and took the insulation and everything out because I knew it was going to leak water. So let's see if we can get that thing out of there and give it a gander. I've already disconnected everything, and I'm in the process of eliminating that. And there is our heater box right there. And there's our heater core that was leaking. Come on over here. All right, let me bring it over there on the table. Just hang tight. Bring it over there. Okay, so here's our box. Here's our heater. Now we want to try to keep this. You can see where it's been leaking. Look, see where it's green. So we're going to try to keep this because we're going to have to reuse that because you don't get a new one with the new heater core. So I thought for sure after I told you how much it would cost to fix the air conditioning, come on over here.
You're the one that wants air conditioning,
No,
not me.
I don't want air conditioning. This is why I don't want air conditioning. Do you see all this stuff on here? That has to be replaced. The unit inside here has to be replaced. This has to be replaced. A new, he's gonna probably get that. This hose has to be. Up here has to be. You're looking at about $2,000 worth of parts, not including the labor. And to get this heater out, to get this one out, there's a bolt right here. And if you don't, and look, somebody's already taken this one out. Look, the speed nut, where's that at? The speed nut's missing off here. They didn't put it back on. So this has already been taken out before, probably to replace the heater core.
Probably.
So you're lucky we don't have air conditioning on this because I don't want it anyway.
Okay, good. That's good.
Good.
That's good.
Come on over here. Okay, I love my truck. You know that? Look, I love my Baja. Look, you see where that sits?
Yeah.
You think the truck will do that?
Right next to the other thing that sits.
You think the truck will sit, or do you think I'll drive it?
I think you'll drive it in the wintertime back and forth to the store and maybe to church, but other than that, in the wintertime, in the summertime, no, I don't think.
Why won't you think I'll drive it in the summer?
Because it's going to be too hot.
Oh, you're shitting me.
No.
I've already driven it in the summer. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful ride. You open the windows, here's my air conditioning right here. Okay, for all the people that weren't born with those, you don't know what fucking air conditioning is. I don't need air conditioning.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens when you actually start driving.
All right, so here's the old core support, heater core, and it was leaking. So I got the new heater core over here. Oh, look, they give you a piece of foam with it.
Oh, see there?
And this heater core is a little bit different. Okay, it's skinnier. Look how cheap they got. Look at this. Wow. I sure hope this thing fits in there. So this is made in China. This is just a good sign. This is a good sign from 10 years ago. You're paying more money for something. You're paying more money and you're getting less. Look at that. I want to show everybody this. This is bullshit. Do you see that heater core? Watch this. Watch this when I put this one in. It literally fits in there perfect in the square hole.
Yeah.
Is that a fucking joke or what? Look how thick this one is compared to this. That's fucking insane. That's total fucking rip-off action right there. Total rip-off. Turn it off. Now that we got that done, we'll go ahead and get our insulation back in the car. Oh, what a bitch. What a bitch, people. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go get me some brand new heater hose to put on here. And we will only buy as much as we need. We're not overbuying heater hose. When you come across a hose like this that won't come off, you take a knife and you slice the hose and then give it a little bit of a twist and it comes right off. Now that we got the heater core replaced, we're going to continue to work on the truck today. And what we're working on now is replacing this wire harness. We got several wires on here. We don't know what they're for. And another thing is our gas gauge doesn't work. So this wire here actually goes to our electric choke, and they actually had that hooked up to the wiper motor. And I believe by hooking this up to that wiper motor, burned up the automatic stop on the wipers, the auto stop. So thank you very much, Jerry Jigger Rigger, for doing that. So anyway, you can see this is a real mess in here. And when I say a mess, I'm talking a big mess. That green wire, we don't know where that goes either, but we're gonna find out. And then we got this red wire that we don't know where that goes. So we're gonna trace those down and find those, and then I think, hopefully, cross our fingers, the rest of them are factory wires. But you can kind of see where this is going, and it's all rigged up. Once again, it's a rigger job. And it comes down here. Here's our alternator wires. It goes down through here and over to the starter, and then I'm sure our fuel tank is wrapped up in there somewhere. So we're going to go ahead and see where these wires go, the ones that are added on, and see what happens. Something else is, I want to remind everybody, this is not the original engine or transmission. This was a 350 truck, and Jerry Jigger Rigger went ahead and put the 454 big block 400 engine in it that you're looking at. And when he did, he jerry rigged up the 400 turbo switch. I'm in the process now of finding the wire harness that goes to that so we can get it working properly, because as of right now the kickdown doesn't work. The kickdown's not working. You got to manually kick it down, but he's got a jerry jigger rigged up to make it where he thinks it works, but it doesn't. So if we look right here, here's our new harness. Let me grab that out of there and show it to you real quick. This is our new wire harness that we bought. And this wire harness wasn't cheap. This wire harness cost $400. There's the factory plug for it right there. It goes through the plastic housing that you're looking at. And then it hooks right up to the firewall and the engine. So that's $400 worth of wiring that you're looking at straddled there. And I'm hoping that this is going to fix our fuel sending unit, which I seriously doubt it probably won't, because as I was reading about the fuel sending unit, there's a resistor on the fuel sending unit, a 90 ohm resistor, and if that's blown out, then it won't work properly. So if replacing this wire harness does not fix the fuel sending unit, then we're going to have to go to other means to figure out how to get the fuel sending unit to work, because we need the fuel sending unit to work. I also found out to find one of those little 90 ohm resistors costs about $30 or $40, and they're very hard to find. But right now what our main concern is this wire harness. Another thing that I saw that he had Jerry Jigger rigged up is he's got a relay on this for some reason. I don't know what the relay's for. I don't understand why there's a relay and why it's hooked up and what it's doing here. And that's where the red wire goes. I can already tell you that red wire that I was looking at. This one right here, as that goes over here to this relay. Why he's got a relay on this for the electric choke, I don't know. So we already know what this is for. I've already figured it out. It goes to this relay right here, and then from the relay goes over to our this right here, which would be our choke, electric choke. So yeah, he's got a relay for an electric choke. What the fuck? That's the stupidest thing I ever seen. Stupidest fucking thing. See, this is the problem you have when you start adding shit to your electrical and you don't know what the fuck you're doing. He should have got a circuit boss and added all this on there like I'm gonna do, instead of just splicing and dicing wires and burning shit up, because that's what happened here. I'm still wondering where this green wire goes. I think the green wire actually goes to the distributor. That's how he had his yes it is. So that's how he had his distributor hooked up, and we're going to go ahead and cut that. I do know a little bit about electrical. I've wired up several cars, and I can see right here that this is spliced in. I want to show you the splice that he did here. He didn't even use a butt connector on it. This is the one that he had spliced in. I don't know if you can see that, but he didn't use wire connectors, butt connectors, or nothing. All he did was use some black tape on it. That's not even a butt connector. That's just some kind of metal connector that has nothing to do with butt connectors at all. And that's why he had tape on it. So this green wire here is coming out of the dash from somewhere, and then it goes down here to this wire, which I don't know what that is yet. We haven't traced it down. And then it comes back here and goes all the way over to the distributor. But the main one right now is this one right here, and this is actually a yellowish, or maybe it was white, I don't know. There's that was on the, he had a relay for that. What the fuck is that for? I've never seen that. And then here's our constant hot, which goes up here. Okay, so we got this disconnected, but this is the kind of action that you run into when you buy these used cars, and people that's owned them that doesn't know how to work on them, basically, yeah, doesn't know what they're doing and just basically screws everything up. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect everything. We're going to go underneath, we'll get the starter disconnected and all the wires down there, and I'll take a picture of that down on the starter, so when I put the new wire harness on, I'll have a picture to look at to half-ass guide me through the scenario.